hasn't it? It's on the road that they've been poor. If they picked up 1 or 2 more points on the road, then maybe they'd be in a much better position. Sam Tompkins with that left leg heavily strapped up with a hamstring injury that he has got. And we're about to get things underway. So a big blast of the whistle and a short kick-off from Mark Sneed. It's a short play right from the start, but Bailey Sirenen's alive to that. That's one for the playbook.
Well, that's Salford in a nutshell, isn't it? They're trying to do the different plays. They're trying to just fox and scheme and fool their opposition. Great start from Salford. Didn't get the ball, but that's what we're in for this afternoon.
There's a real box of tricks and short kick-offs, and we talk about their home record. It would have been even better if they'd beaten Wigan that day. That seems like an awfully long time ago, doesn't it, when they tried the short dropout? Anyway, that's water under the bridge. McMeekan plays it. Alric DaCosta gets up and carries it on, and here comes Moore running in from full-back and finding a bit of width on that left-hand side. It's a kick and a chase from Smith, but back goes Briley to clear things away. But an early chance for the Catalan Dragons.
And Dave, that's the threat that Catalan Dragons have got with the ball. Matthew Moore got beautiful balance, beautiful footwork, finds a one-handed offload, and Remus Smith has come in on that left edge. Made a difference. I think he probably had a little bit more time than he realised, Ryan Briley, but he took no chances and booted it into the stands.
Well, it has given Catalan a real opportunity here. Busquets will drive it in. Early stages of this game, Salford yet to get hold of the ball, and Catalan in a position where they could strike. Offered back on the inside for Sirenen. Sirenen met well by a couple of Salford defenders. DaCosta comes up again. Well, he's run an obstruction line, so he'll have to take to the floor. Roman Navarrete just running in front of him, so he has to just concede that tackle rather tamely. It's a little bounce, and McMeekan gets it away. Rouget is stopped 5 out. DaCosta again puts it back to Fage, and here comes Morg, and quick hands, and Davis on that right-hand side. But he's well matched by Sneed, but there is another set of 6 to be had here. Referee restarts the count, and so Catalan's pressure is maintained. Garcia pushing in. 3 defenders required just to tame him on that occasion and bring him down. DaCosta looking right. Here's Morg. Morg stepping right foot and then left, but not quite with a hip sway to get away from the defenders who chase. DaCosta again. Flicks it back to Fage. Fage now with a flat ball. They're just battering into that Salford line, but Salford are holding on at the moment. It's a case of, can they turn this position into points? Fage ducks away from a couple of defenders. Can't get any further. It was an effort from Nicarima that eventually stopped him. Now they go left, and Smith is going to be held up only just short of the line. 1 play to go. Smith shrugs off defenders, throws it back again. Fage with a kick to that in-goal area. It's being chased, and Sneed will not take any chances and concedes a dropout. It is so much pressure on this Salford line in the opening minutes of this game.
Pressure and possession for the Catalan Dragons, the away side. It was a beautifully weighted kick, and Mark Sneed felt he had no option other than to just secure possession. Rouget with a delicate kick and the chase from Sirenen. Well, they haven't touched the ball, have they? Apart from the kick-off, what we had there, 3.5 minutes of solid defence, absorbing pressure. Will they buckle on this set of 6?
Well, Mark Sneed's boot is employed again, looking for a little length on this occasion, which is caught by Rouget and inviting a chance to pound back downfield for Roman Navarrete. DaCosta sliding in. Fage just to his left, but they're going right. They're going through the big route as Busquets takes it again with real purpose. A real confidence-building start here for the Dragons, but they need points. Garcia's dragged down. DaCosta picks up, goes left again, and it's a flat pass, and Smith is well met by Ethan Ryan, who read that ball coming his way and slammed in. Made sure there was no progress to be made. It's back with Rouget, who's into Busquets, and Busquets is on the 5th tackle, held 12 away. So here comes the last. It's McMeekan McMeekan needs to keep it alive if he can. He's desperate for the offload, and it gets a Salford touch on the way through, which has given Catalan another set of 6. It's relentless at the moment.
It's disaster, isn't it, for Salford? I think it's Ollie Partington who can't resist getting his hand to that ball.
And a penalty now for Catalan. Salford off their line.
Now I'm looking at the body language of Catalan Dragons players. Some players saying we'll take 2, others saying let's keep going. Nearly 5 minutes of possession, they have failed to get over the try line. They've failed to do anything really. And it was a good bit of hustle from Salford on goal line defence. I think they'll take some confidence from that, Dave. They weren't broken, and even though they were stretched, they still managed to get bodies in the frame. And were it not for Ollie Partington just getting a hand, he must have thought he could get to that ball. It was an ambitious offload from Mike McMeekan, who found himself in possession on last tackle. And if he'd have been tackled, well, what a waste of possession, waste of pressure. And again, those question marks on Artia Morg, Rougier and Fars continue.
And Morg with a chance to add the 2. It's almost a welcome relief for Salford to concede the penalty, isn't it? Because
you take it without a doubt.
It was going to be more pressure on their line. Steps up and kicks, and it is a success. So an early lead for Catalan to reflect their early start here. 2 points to 0.
It's a good point you make,
6 minutes played.
It's a good point you make. 5 minutes on the clock, 6 minutes on the clock. Get some air into the lungs, get your breath back, get your composure back, and all that pressure and all that possession has resulted in just the 2 points. They'll want to start the game again. Paul Rowley, Kurt Haggerty will breathe a sigh of relief.
There's a cynical side of me, Barry, that suggests maybe they just conceded that penalty on purpose, but anyway, I'm sure they didn't. So Catalan...
You're not saying players are bending the rules these days,
Not bending the rules, no, but, you know, it just lifts a bit of pressure that really was growing, wasn't it?
I played with a coach, and he used to say, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, Barry.
Well, Catalans still have it, but they are deep inside their own half here, so a job on to get that kind of pressure.
That's a good carry from Benjamin Garcia.
Here's Da Costa. Back again to Farge, and angling back towards the middle is Bailey Surinen. Well, they've reached the 5th. Now, do Salford get their hands on the ball here? Well, it's Farge who kicks it, and Briley's underneath it, and this will be the first touch for Salford with 7 minutes of this first half play.
That's unbelievable, isn't it, from Salford Red Devils, who are one of the fit teams in the league. They'll want that back 5 to get involved. Briley, Ryan McDonald, Lafay Cross talked about the 2 centres, 2 dynamic centres, arguably the 2 best centres in the league. I know a certain Joe Wardle might have something to say about that.
Petter Hiku might have something to say about that. Ethan Masters from his form earlier this year. Obviously got injury problems. I think it's safe to say we've got some plenty of good centres in the game at the moment.
Absolutely.
This is Singleton. So Salford 10 short of the halfway line. And they're going to be forced to kick here because it is the last, but it is Mark Sneed who's kicking, so all kinds of sorcery is capable. Oh! And Davis and Laguerre completely miscommunicated, and as a result, Salford have a chance, and Nicarima, would you believe it? Would you believe that? The man who left the Catalan Dragons under a cloud might just well have scored the first try today. The referee is asking a question.
They'll need to know offside, onside, won't they?
So let's hear from James Bella, our video referee.
It's tackle 0, live. Tackle 0. It's tackle 0, live decision of a try. We'll initially check the onside, offside. So we're pausing it on the boot. We can see that 2 chasers to the left are offside, including Partington in the middle. So we'll monitor their movement. So Lafay and Cross are offside, and Partington as well. So we'll move it now through. We can see that the kicker does not run through. ball is then touched by Catalans, and we can see that all offside players remain outside 10 metres of the touch by Catalans. We can see now that the ball is knocked on by Catalans, so we can play it on from this point. The chasers are now onside after the touch by Catalans. Now we can see that Mellor just view which way this ball travels. The ball travels back in relation to the ground, so we're playing on from this point. So we're back to tackle 0. We're playing on. It's still play on. Now through to the grounding. And the ball is grounded. I've made my decision.
That is exceptional.
It is going to be a try. All that pressure, all that possession, but a huge mistake on the high kick gave Salford the opportunity, and they have taken it. And it is Jayden Nikarima who comes back to haunt the Catalan Dragons with a try underneath the sticks.
Well, Mark Sneed kicks the ball more on field than any other player in Super League, makes more metres on those kicks than any other player in Super League. So when it came to the last tackle, I wondered which tackle he would select. He split everybody in half. Oh, sorry, he split the centre, Matthew Laguerre, Tom Davis, so neither one committed to it. Probably communication was a little bit low. They collide with each other, but it's this bit that I'm fascinated in. It's absolutely clinical. Mellor finds a simple pass to Briley, who hands it on to Nikarima. And as you've said, Dave, they've spent 8 minutes defending, only had a handful of tackles in possession. And glorious for the ex-Catalan Dragons player to get over.
Well, I think he enjoyed that moment, didn't he? Absolutely enjoyed that moment, and right in front of the sticks. Mark Sneed with a conversion. You would not have doubted that going over, and Salford lead now by 6 points to 2. Who's to blame now? You know, the coach is looking at that. Should that have been Davis's ball to collect because he was facing?
Always the player running forward onto it should ultimately commit to it and call for it. Matthew Laguerre, did he get in the way? Did he obstruct Tom Davis? Well, there's an argument for that as well.
Well, if he were wearing Salford colours, Matthew Laguerre, he might have been in the sin bin for 10 minutes as well, because he hit his head. But left eye back in possession. Salford leading here by 6 points to 2, having soaked up so much pressure in these early stages. This is Singleton. They're on to the last play. Mellor's having a look. Skips it back, and here it comes again. That boot again. He's spinning that up in the air, and it is taken safely by Morg. But again, that ball, when it goes up, comes down with such a strange flight. It's a nightmare for fullbacks.
He's got so many different variations to his kicking game, whether it's along the floor, a banana kick, a spiral kick, and a positional kick as well. So he's a master off the boot.
This is McMeekan. Into dummy half goes Rouget. Looking to bring it back towards the middle again. A little bit of a bobble, but the referee says play on. So Catalan just about get themselves inside their opponent's half. Da Costa, keen and active. At a dummy half. Farge with a dummy. Looks to take them on, but it was a little bit telegrammed, wasn't it? And Salford's defenders were ready for that. So here's the last. And Rouget sticks it up there. Briley again has to cover some ground. There's some height on that kick as well. Long time before that came down, which gave the chasers the real chance.
But importantly, winger and fullback with some verbal communication, some non-verbal, some gestures. They knew that Ryan Briley was going to command that ball and catch it.
Sneed pushing himself in there. Ethan Ryan will take it on. Da Costa comes with a shoulder, but Ryan gets the offload, and Salford keep it alive. And we know how dangerous they can be, even at this end of the ground, when they all switch on together. The dash out of dummy half from McDonald. It's a feature of this Salford side. Centres switching left to right and right to left. Lafai the other centre.
And it's that freedom Paul Rowley allows them to roam, allows them to get some time on the ball, which ultimately benefits Salford.
It's the banana kick off Sneed at this time. He's putting all the kicks together, isn't he? Taken by Davies to bring it back. They have been rocks or diamonds, Salford, in recent weeks. They lost Hull Kingston Rovers 32-12 last week. Were very much second best, but just a week before that, they put on a season-high 60 points to 10 win against Huddersfield. So on this ground, they are very potent.
They are. They enjoy playing here. They obviously understand how to break teams down. They've got a wonderful coaching staff, and they play and respect the instructions they go out with.
Garcia climbs up, Da Costa. Rouget offers McMeekan a run back towards the middle, where he's met, but lovely little flick away. Busquets, and another flick. Just making this a few extra tackles for Salford to make before they can complete. One play to go. Here's Morg. Rouget steps away from Sneed, only just.
Great kick pressure from Mark Sneed, understanding that he needs to maybe just take some time and space away from his opposite. They have had the bulk of possession, Catalan Dragons, but have done absolutely nothing with it.
This is Cross, running it in. And Salford's points difference is such that it's hard to see them making up ground on those above them in that respect, but they'll be hoping for a big win tomorrow. They'll be hoping for a win, first of all. If they can make it a big win, that'll be a bonus. But Catalan fighting for their lives as well. So a real contest here. Mellor caught. Referee says that's okay. McMeekan was square, entitled to make that challenge. Sneed kicks, looking for ground. More travels left and offers it off to Yaha to bring it back.
They must be demoralised, Catalan Dragons. Every time they've had the ball they've been dealt with, they look to try and find some space on the edge. With the big centre, Smith, he looks a player that can make something happen, but they'd be disappointed with those opening minutes and that possession and position.
Rouget, 5 away from the halfway line. Garcia, and now Busquets. Busquets putting his back into it. Da Costa. Here again. This is Fage, and a flick or two finds its way to Davis, and Davis running in to Chris Hankinson, who's on the field. And there's Fage with a kick. Climbing high goes Ryan.
It just seems naive to me, Dave. They've got a right-footed kicker. They end up on the right side with, you know, it's easy for a kick pressure team to take a little bit of accuracy away from Cesar Rouge and Theo Fage. They're just not quite getting those plays correct.
Sneed. Briley. Here's Lafay. It's a good push from him. Salford inside their opponent's half here. Slow at the play the ball. Referee urged to give another set, but he's not willing to do that. Partington, who of course will be in Catalan next year as a player. Singleton. Nicarima. Briley. Rouget stopping him in his tracks. And here comes the last again. And it's Sneed again, who sends it up there and goes chasing himself as well.
Who else? And then he kicks and chases. I thought for a second Artia Morg and Fuad Yaha were going to collide with each other, but it was a bit of a foil from the winger, Yaha.
Davis. Some hard work to do here from the Catalan Dragons. Inside their own half. Mathieu Laguerre going a little lateral at the moment, the Dragons. Da Costa. Here's McMeekan. He's got that go-forward button in his armoury, hasn't he? And back it comes for the kick downfield. Cross just has to move a yard or two to patch it on the full, and that means he gets back almost to the halfway line, and that's where Salford start.
It's a wonderful defensive set. 24 metres they made in possession, Catalan Dragons, so they kick from deep. Salford catch it around about the 30-35 metre mark, and they're straight into the half of Catalan Dragons with plenty of tackles in the bag.
Here's Dudson. Gil Dudson. Widely reported to be on the move to Oldham next year, Gil Dudson, so Potentially last home game here today. On loan, of course, at Salford.
Why wouldn't you want to go to Oldham, Dave? It's the best place in the world.
There's a kick from Watkins, but Morg has got it covered and runs it back. And Fuhad Yaha can clear some ground here.
On a big
until
tackle at the
Dilson
end
gets
of it.
his shoulder in the way.
He did very well, Artie Morg, avoiding defenders, finding space, ultimately finds a pass. But well dealt with. I think it was your man Gil Dudson again who came in with a big tackle.
Laguerre.
Another big shot. Really applying pressure, Salford, in defence.
And they've turned this game around, haven't they? From the opening 7 minutes when Catalan were absolutely dominant. Salford now looking just a little more in control here. McMeekan again. Callum Watkins across to just strangle his intentions. And a kick again, which will be taken by Brierley, who's head up and looking to see what's on. The chase is on, and Fage will be there to make the tackle. I'm a Salford player, of course, Theo Fage.
It's a committed chase, isn't it, from Catalan Dragons? The game looks to have settled down into a little bit of a rhythm now. We've just about come to the end of the first quarter.
Sneed spins it in. Lafay takes it on, challenging that advancing Catalan line, picking up a position, giving Salford plenty of room on that right-hand side to try and swing the ball. And here they go, and Brierley carries it late, gets it away. MacDonald cutting back in. Nicarima slotting it into the little general's role. Ryan and just urging his body at that Catalan line. He's left Busquets on the floor, and Sneed puts it high again. There's no real chase on that in terms of pressure on Yaha, who buckets it and falls.
Oh, his body angle, he's facing to the left. He kicks it back over to his right and Salford's right, but it was a solid line.
There's a slip, and in fact that little slip has given them an opportunity. Smith breaking and eventually dragged down, but Remy Smith with a wonderful chance there that came on the back of a slight blunder with the hands, and Catalan have got some width. Ryan tries to close it down, isn't successful in doing that, and here comes Fage, and Fage offers it off, and a little leap towards the line, and Arthur Moore is over to score. It's a thrilling try from Catalan's point of view. It all started with a little bit of a fumble, but a bit of class between that end and the other, and Catalan are over.
Well, if you thought that Catalan Dragons looked like they were disinterested in this game, then watch this strike. Players pushing forward, picking up the scraps on those offloads. Whilst they weren't perfect, and some low, some high, Catalan Dragons go, what, 70, 60 metres to get themselves into the game. Bang on 20 minutes. Artie Morgan talked about the centre Smith, didn't we? We talked about his threat. Possibly the most dangerous player on the edge. It was a fumble. Gil Dudson pulled out to the tackle. I thought they'd done enough with Dion Cross when he comes across and makes this tackle. But Catalan Dragons keep the composure, get back behind the ball, flood forward. And even though Salford Red Devils are doing their level best, a bit of determination, a bit of resilience, and this is a brilliant try from Catalan Dragons.
Well, that shakes things up, doesn't it? Level again, and a chance for Morg to add the two. It's been his day so far. Little rock back, taking his place, just shutting out the noise that is tumbling down from the stands. Three sides of this ground. He's focused on a kick that will give his side the lead again. He strikes it well, but he's put it wide. And it's a big kick that's been missed, and it remains at 6 points apiece.
Well, Catalan Dragons through the big centre. Smith found a little chink in the armour. Steve McNamara will be delighted with how they transitioned and went from defence to attack and found the space, but it was ultimately a Salford defender who missed his assignment, didn't make the tackle, and that's where the space and opportunity presented itself.
Well, it is so tight today. If Salford win, they actually go up into 4th position, leapfrogging Leeds, St Helens and Lee. And if Catalan win today, they remain outside the 6, but they leapfrog Salford, and they will be level on points with Saints and Leeds. And they've got a couple of games to go of Catalan, which they will fancy. London at home and Hull away.
Move! Come on, Chris.
How good is it? How good? Something on every single game.
It's McMeekan back on the inside, and Sirinen
4.
carrying it
Move,
in.
Chris! Family, Matt, family. Don't go early.
Da Costa. The canter forward by McMeekan.
Move!
Canter with determination, by the way. Da Costa. Rouget. Up it goes.
Remy, give 10.
Briley
Give 10.
underneath it.
Okay, now.
An umbrella of defenders coming his way, and he can't spin away from their attentions.
Stand.
And Salford have to start from deep inside their own half. So they've been made to do some work here to clear their lines. Ryan angling wide. But there's 2, 3 ready to meet him.
Well, Paul Rowley shuffled his deck a little bit. Chris Hankinson comes onto the field. He's probably just trying to put some energy and put some legs into that forward pack. Hankinson going on in the second row.
Here's Watkins. Well, I rather fancy that Sam Stone might be injured, because he replaced Stone a while back, and it didn't look like a tactical change at that point.
5. Move! Goal 5.
Looking down at the dugout there, he's no ice, he's no injury protection.
Sneed's kick.
Okay, now.
Pouched by Davis.
1.
Well met.
Move! Back. Hold. Goal 1.
And now Leggett.
2.
Head first and pushing in.
Hold. Goal 2.
Fage shooting it left. Yaha.
3rd.
Remember his uncle Baghdad with Paris Saint-Germain all those years ago? And that is a lost ball, a fumble. And Salford given a very cheap opportunity to have hands on ball again here.
And they feed on that energy, don't they? They thrive on those mistakes, celebrate it as if they've scored a try. Tariq Sims around the play of the ball. It's Fuad Yaha who makes the mistake. Just trying to play it as quick as he can.
Well, to report, by the way, Sam Stone, we're getting news from the sidelines. Sam Stone's gone off with a stinger to his shoulder, but they're hoping he still can get back on. As Barry was saying, he's sitting there in the dugout, so they'll be hoping that he can recover. In the meantime, Salford with a wonderful opportunity. Here's Sneed. This is Lafay.
1. Move now! Hands out!
Mellor marching in. Sneed again. Just a flat effort to put a dent in the Catalan line.
Ball now. Oh, come on.
Mellor. Shane Wright on for the bench. And that's a no-look pass. And I think it was a no-look catch as well from Joe Bullock.
Yeah, Joe Bullock fresh onto the field.
0!
We've seen his development as a ball handler in 13 since he's moved from Wigan to Salford, Partington, but you're right, body's in front of him, he needs an early ball. The substitute, Joe Bullock. You look on the other side, Mike McMeekin is one of the best in the business at catching the ball virtually in the defensive line.
This is Desiree.
He's had a good season, hasn't he, Desiree?
Move off that ball!
Really come on, meters after contact.
Garcia pops it back again, and Tariq Sims with a push and a carry that takes his side a good 10-15 metres further forward again. There's some energy there. Garcia back to McMeekan. McMeekan runs into trouble in the shape of 3 defenders with 1 play to go. Rouget sticks it high. Briley's got some work to do here. He's close to the touchline as well. The ball's allowed to bounce and it's out of play. Well, Salford will take that, because there was some danger building there.
Changed his mind while the ball was in flight, Ryan Briley. He was spooked by the Catalan defenders, ended up letting it bounce, and fortunately for him and Salford, it bounced into touch. He's aiming to catch that all the way until it gets about maybe 5-6 metres away from him. and he's looking at the Catalan players around him.
Nice touch from the Salford team, by the way, before the kickoff here today. All the families formed a guard of honour. It's going to be the last regular season game at home, this. They'll be hoping they can still get a playoff game here, but just to mark the last regular season, the families all came out and gave their dads and husbands and partners and sons a guard of honour as they came onto the field. Watkins. Here's Ethan Ryan. Ryan now with a bit of a skip and lifting the knees as he tries to take it forward. One play to go. Mellor again. Sneed again. This time it's a lower trajectory. 5-iron instead of the pitching wedge, and it's causing a bit of a bouncing problem for Morg, but in for Davis, and Davis looking across and finding Yaha, and Yaha can't find a way through because the chase is honest.
Callum Watkins goes in hard, and they find the pass. Done a mountain of work defensively, both sides. It's taking its toll. You can see some of those bigger players in the middle just trying to get the breath back.
Laguerre changing direction. Swerve didn't put off Salford's oncomers. Desiree, there's a hit that knocked Wright's head back with the impact. But they're creeping forward here at the moment, Catalan. Just hard-earned meters, but not many of them. McMeekan has to play with one play to go for Catalan. Fage just about gets away from Lafay. Cross catches safely, but it's a well-placed kick.
It's a big shot.
Good hit as well, wasn't it? That?
Yeah, big shot from Alrix de Costa. They give a penalty away, just trying to buy an extra second. I think it's Rougier that keeps his hand in. I don't think they have as much variety in the kicking game, but it's the volume and the accuracy. There's that big tackle, big shoulder contact. But the game changed, I feel, for Catalan Dragons when they brought Tariq Sims on.
No long play, 29 minutes. All square, 6 apiece. Couldn't ask for anything better, could we, as a neutral? Big contest, loads of tension. Mellor. Bit of French from the referee, congratulating the French defenders. Bullock. Mellor. Back to Partington and now Sneed, and a short one for Hankinson, but can't pierce the armour of that Catalan defence. But they've got more attempts at it. Mellor, not sure what he was doing, and then pops it up again, and the offload is hurled back. It's back to Nicarima, and a little step inside from MacDonald, who's still travelling well. And Catalan are going to be under pressure here on this last play because Sneed has ball in hand, and it's a lovely little chip over the top. Davis' favourite for it. Cross got a hand to it. Lafay's there as well. The ball comes free, and the referee says at the end of that handover, Catalan have it back.
Catalan will get that ball back, but he had far too much time on the ball, Mark Sneed. It was a quick play of the ball that allowed him that little bit of think time. He puts it where he wants it, and Dion Cross just can't quite beat Tom Davis in the air. Good contest though.
Laguerre. Here's Fage. Now he has it. Fage having a little look around. Oh, it's another penalty. That's a huge lift for Catalan. 2 in a row, 2 slow ones.
Well, Shane Wright telling the referee he was trapped in. I'm not sure. Just 3 penalties in the game, 2-1 it is.
So having been given that lift in yardage, what can Catalan do from here?
I think he's right. I think he was trapped in. My apologies.
De Costa. Garcia. Here's McMeekan. Offloads to Fage. Salford's defence quick to close things down. Cutting off the options. Big body of Nenny MacDonald getting in the way of an outside ball. Desiree. Dragged down by Bullock. Da Costa. Fage. This is Garcia. He's trying to wrestle himself away from those arms that come his way, but he succumbs in the end. Da Costa to McMeekan. McMeekan to Desiree. Desiree with a very near burst. Now it's Catalan's turn to finish the set in such a wonderful position. Rouget puts it high. Ryan settles himself. It's not back by Catalan hands again. But at the end, I think it's Briley who gets a hold of that.
Well, good anticipation from Ryan Briley. Knows Ethan Ryan is usually reliable. There's a penalty off the back of that as well from Catalan Dragons. That was the best kick, the best pressure kick from the Dragons for me.
Well, they're both guilty of giving away penalties when they really should be putting pressure on, aren't they? Here's MacDonald.
These two teams, Dave, they'll love to throw the ball about. There's not enough tries been scored for teams that like to play freedom and expression, but it's coming.
Here's Bullock. Is the pressure of the occasion on their minds here, or is that lost in the game at the moment?
I think they're both threat. The threat of them both is in attack, so that they're almost cancelling each other out first until they can express themselves.
Left eye to Sneed. There's Partington. Little change of direction, a perceived weakness there to run at. But again, it's a platform that's looking good. Mellor. Briley is involved, and Nicarima tries to step, but Rouget gets a hold of his knees and drags him. And Mellor now will go scampering on this last play, a little kick into the in-goal area. And the main aim is to get another set of 6, but Fage has done well to get it out and back in play.
I don't know whether there's an injury here. Nicarima, I don't know whether his knee and the head of Theo Fage has collided, but it's a good kick from dummy half. Joe Mellor pops out. There weren't enough Salford Red Devils players chasing to make it a brilliant kick. Theo Fage collects it in the in-goal, tries to get out. Nice kick. Chase isn't great, but as he's trying to get back in field, he has a low body angle. He's almost aiming towards the knees and bottom of the legs.
Well, he's an interesting career, isn't he, Theo Fage? Actually started as a professional at Salford, didn't he? Signed as a 16-year-old. It's through Salford that his career's progressed. But now back in France.
Brave
for the
player.
First time as a club player.
He's a brave player, and sometimes too brave for his own good. Absolutely, he has to get down low though, so he doesn't allow defenders to pick him up and drive him back.
No dramas.
Completely accidental. It looks like everybody's okay.
Okay then, Theo. Go.
Nicarima knows straight away, doesn't he? Sticks his hands up.
The doctor was on the field quickly as well then, wasn't he? It's good to see the medical support they have. Laguerre just struggling to hold on to the ball.
Release him on the mark.
Davis. Well, some tough work being done here by both sides. Salford trying to resist the go forward as best they can. Catalan trying to burst this, trying to get themselves downfield. But they've run out of options with only one play to go. It's going to be another kick. Rouget gets it away, cross again, and again cross. When he catches it, can almost see that halfway line in front of him. And Salford again starting from a decent position.
Yeah, they haven't been, in terms of field position and territory, they haven't been to our left that many times. The try that they've scored was, you could probably say it was a breakaway try.
Stand up. Goal 2.
But in the favour of the home team, whenever they've been down there, they've asked questions. They haven't got a result yet, but again, I feel it's coming.
Shane Wright, 5 inside the Catalan half. Mellor picks up again and invites the run of Callum Watkins back towards the middle. MacDonald, I apologise, who's got himself out of that attempted tackle. Well, again, just a little bit of a breakthrough, half a breakthrough. And now it's Bullock. Another rampaging effort from him. 1 to go. Out it comes to Sneed. Sneed puts that angle back towards the middle. Briley goes tumbling in back play. It's going to be a drop out underneath the sticks. Ryan Ryan Briley's not making anything of that, and I think the referee's saying that he saw Ryan Briley running into the French player.
And he's right, he's absolutely right. It was a set play between the half-back and the full-back. He finds a player to run into, but at this point, it's the reaction of those two players, Hankinson on Oliver Partington, that get a dropout, get a result, get repeat possession, and I feel it's building to a try for Salford here.
Shot clock off.
Another set, 4.5 minutes, of course, to go. Another set. Cross on the bounce. All square.
Move now!
As it stands, Catalan had a good 20 points to 0 win against Salford in their meeting earlier in the season.
2. Move! Hold on, Rick, hold.
Here's Mellor. Sneed. Back to Nicarima, they've got the numbers here. McDonald gets a pass away to Ryan, but Catalan, oh, it looked high. It looked high as they try to get across the cover, and it is a penalty. So, Coach McDermott, go for the 2 here or carry on the 6?
I think stay in possession. I think that Catalan are rocking. They haven't been defending their own try line too often. There's 4 defenders in the frame here. They're going to have another look at this to see whether it's worthy of a yellow. Under the rules and laws that we're playing today, Smith is a little bit too high, and the force comes from the urgency he gets over to make that tackle.
Not forceful and dangerous is the opinion on the field. Well, is Smith.
There we go.
Will breathe a little easier.
Who knows? A yellow, a red, a penalty, no penalty. Who knows these days? Flip a coin. So they're going to play. I think that's the right decision.
Yeah. Nicarima puts it back on the inside for Bullock, who goes pushing through again.
Move!
5 away.
Hold!
Mellor looking to that left-hand side. Partington with a short pass. Hankinson tries to force his way in.
Hold!
He's going to be withheld. But there's still 4 plays to go here. It's back with Partington, and Sneed reaches and catches. Briley quick hands, but by the time it gets to McDonald, there's no room on that outside, so they search back down towards the middle, and Briley with a couple of steps causing alarm amongst the Dragons defenders. A pick up by Mellor. Oh, what about the step? Brilliant from Joe Mellor. Left defenders clutching at thin air, and Salford, right on the stroke of half-time, burst into the lead again.
Hasn't he come on? Changed positions, grown and understands now the role of a number 9. Spent the bulk of his career as a half-back. As soon as that ball gets played, he looks at the scattered defenders, he looks at the confusion. Here's the penalty from Smith. From that set of possession, he knows exactly what he's going to do. Bailey Sirenen, he's going hard to his left as a defender, trying to fix something that isn't there. But I think a lot of the Catalan defenders are doing what I did. They're watching Mark Sneed, who was screaming for the ball over Salford's left. Everybody was expecting it to come left. When the ball and the acting halfback looks like it's going out to the right, everybody then changes their mind. And Joe Mellor, decisive, picks up and goes.
Well, Salford Reds are rising, being bellowed out by the Salford faithful for the first time today.
So they were right not to go for the 2. They were right to keep possession because Catalan Dragons were rocking.
What are we looking at here?
Just if these 2 all-timers behind the post.
I think it's just Mark Sneed taking as long as he possibly can with a kick, because he knows very close to half-time. Clock stops with 52 seconds. Sneed puts the kick between the sticks, and it is now 12 points to 6 in Salford's favour.
Joe Mellor being asked to play an unfamiliar position at the start of the season from his coach. He's reacted wonderfully, hasn't it? That's a real poacher's try, that's a real hooker's try.
Thank you.
Low, hard, opportunity arises, and there he goes.
Well, you look at the team stats, and in terms of dummy half runs, Salford are right up there. I think they're 3rd in the... And you think, really? And a lot of that will be down to Mellor, won't it?
And Chris Atkin and players of that type who want the ball in their hands.
Keep them low, keep them low.
24 seconds to go.
One. Move, Jordan.
Salford,
Ball now.
you'd imagine, finished the half with ball in hand. Can they make it even better than that?
Open square. Ball now.
Mellor just stepping towards that right-hand side. Briley helping it on again. Nikarima threatening to make the break. And that will be that, I think. Oh, they play it just before the hooter sounds. And in the end, it doesn't mean much because MacDonald runs into trouble in the face of a couple of defenders. But a first half that has been tight and tense, befitting of a situation, befitting of a game that means so much to both these sides. But how big will that moment be just before the break when Joe Mellor found a way to step past and beyond all those defenders and give his side a 12-6 lead. Catalan will be hoping for a big response at half-time. But at half-time, Sam Tompkins,
Stay behind, boys. From the off.
wondering at what stage he is thrown into this contest.
I'd say 10 minutes into this second half, when the game's just quietened down and lulled a little bit, the master will get his opportunity.
Well, there's the initial tackle in this second half. McMeekan in there. Salford looking to bring it clear here. 12 points to 6. Game in the balance. Who will tip it their way with the first score in this second half? There's a bit of a lull, a bit of a hush, a bit of a nervous hush around the stadium at the moment. Partington carries it in against players who will be teammates next year. 15 away from the halfway line. Mellor again, infused by that try he scored, has another little dash out of dummy half, but his way blocked easily enough. And Sneed puts it high in the air. Morg underneath it. Well, he's done very well there, Artie Morg. He made that look quite simple, didn't he?
He's one of the best, isn't he, Artie Morg? He's full of confidence under that high ball. Reiterate, don't give Mark Sneed the time and think time to be able to position that ball where he wants.
It's Davies who's taken it in, 15 from the halfway line. Here's Laguerre challenging the Salford resistance again. Not finding it wanting. Managed to grab a hold and push him back. Da Costa. And the soft-handed pass to Desiree, and he's picking a lovely path there. He's not all just muscle and bluster. There was a bit of subtlety to that play as well, wasn't there, with the footwork. Wallace is on the field, and so is Sims, who makes the half break. Wants to play it quickly because this is the last. So Rouget putting it up there towards the corner. Ryan's underneath it, but he's not going far when he comes down. And in fact, he's being dragged out of play. Ryan. Well, the referee, I think, said...
Well, the ball-carrying arm was not on the floor. Ethan Ryan was desperately trying to get to the floor, but the centre and winger for Catalan Dragons didn't allow him. It was an excellent set of possession. Good ball movement. And they don't allow him and push him over the sideline. Before he gets near that sideline, he's trying to find a player.
Well, there's no questioning Catalan's attitude there. Forcing the mistake, forcing the issue, and giving themselves a chance here. Da Costa to Desiree, and Desiree just hammering it forward. Da Costa occupies that dummy half role again. Where's he going this time? It's another of the big fellas, McMeekan, who's going for the bludgeoning run. Offloads. Oh, it might have been an unwise offload. Have they lost it?
Salford have got it, Dave. That's the offload game that Catalan Dragons have got, and that's what the Red Devils have to do. Get in between the support player and the ball carrier.
And how much is that born out of that stat we saw at half-time, that they've had so many play the balls inside their opponent's half and yet haven't been able to score? They try something risky like that.
They have been disciplined with the ball as well. Completion rates were very high. But it is that chaos caused by an offload that's troubled the Red Devils. And they have that ability, the Catalan Dragons.
There's a galloping run here from MacDonald. He's taken it to within 15 of the halfway, but they're running out of tackles. Salford will be relying on this boot again. He's angling it for a 40-20 potential, but easily taken by Morg, and Morg can return it here. He'll put the skates on, trying to get as far downfield as he possibly can.
And rides a tackle too, doesn't he? His positional sense, he's good. He's really developed into one of the best fullbacks, and he's been asked to play in a variety of roles by Steve McNamara this year.
Well, two carries gone, and they're only 10 away from the halfway line, so they're advancing reasonably well here. Yaha pinned to the ground by Nikorima. Pick up by Smith, skipping towards that right-hand side, trying to create something, and again it's an offload. The tackle from Lafay, but the referee says play on. Laguerre eventually plays the ball, and here comes Desiree, and Desiree with an offload, and it's forced a mistake from Salford, so they get the ball back here.
Well, there's a knock-on, but when that knock-on takes place, I don't know whether a Salford player is offside. Desiree tries to find the offload. There's the knock-on from Salford. Shane Wright. Yeah, it's the offloads, isn't it? It's the offloads.
Well, they've clearly been instructed on that, haven't they, in this second half? Because how many have we seen? We've only played 5 minutes in the second half. I think we're averaging 1 a minute at the moment, aren't we? So Catalan will have the ball again here. That's a big push for the Salford pack. Almost unbalanced Catalan, but they're back on their feet, or on their knees at the least, with McMeekan. Here's Da Costa. This is Fage. Back goes Sims. Da Costa is galloping over into position again. Desiree, it's beyond him to McMeekan, and a short pass and a little spin and a turn from Wallace, the Australian, and there's another offload. And Fage leaves it to Rouget, and Rouget just having a look, trying to squeeze between the two defenders that come his way. Da Costa now. 3 to his right immediately. One of those is Wallace, the big prop forward, who gallops in. Thudding effort from him. Da Costa now collects again. Desiree is to his left. Desiree goes on his travels. Not straightforward, just look for a little run on the inside. Owen Fage juggles, and that cuts down his options. And Rouget, he tries an offload. Somehow that comes off. Smith has it. And eventually the ref says it was a knock-on.
Yeah, it was Rouget who was tackled. It was great hustle from Salford under real stress. Theo Fage offloads the ball. That's where the tackle's completed. He tackles after, he passes after the tackle is completed. Rouget, and I don't think the creativity is any better, but the shape from Salford is a lot better. A lot more options for those halfbacks.
Da Costa putting it in. At the news, by the way, Sam Stowe, we saw him going off in the first half and reported that he got a stinger, was hoping to come back. Well, not good news from his point of view. He's gone for the game, is the news we're getting from the touchline. So that just reduces Salford's options, doesn't it, in terms of interchange. This is Mellor. Sneed again, looking to relieve the pressure with that big boot. It's a potential 40-20 and it is a 40-20. And how many times in his career has Mark Sneed turned the rhythm of a game on its head with a kick like that?
What a kick. Accuracy, he knows exactly what he's doing, and the body language, gestures, verbal, non-verbal, it's everywhere, isn't it? There's a master of his craft, without a doubt.
Well, just like in the first half, they've weathered some pressure in the opening 7 minutes, Salford. And now they have an opportunity to strike, thanks to this fella, Sneed. It's Brierley, and Brierley's pass away, and Lafay will gallop over, throws the ball in celebration into those Salford fans who celebrate. And now they have a bit of breathing room. Now they have a bit of comfort in the scoreline. Salford lead by 16 points to 6.
Fantastic kick from Mark Sneed. A set-up play, and there's a beautiful delay on the final pass from Salford. But Tim Lafay just glides into the hole. But beautiful set-up play. And you're right, Dave, how many times do we watch Salford and see the influence of Mark Sneed? The mastery of that man has the ability to speed the game up, slow the game down. Pinpoint accurate kick gives his side possession in the right part of the field. Mark Sneed gives it to Ryan Brierley, and it's Ryan Brierley's delay that just commits Catalan defenders. You can just see Laguerre can not legislate for Ryan Brierley, and that half a second is all the space that Tim Laffey needs.
Well, Tim Laffey's 7th try of the season. Now that's a big one. But for all the clever handling, it's this fella's left boot that has proved the difference again. When their man of steel, Steve Prescott man of steel, went behind closed doors, he was very much up there, wasn't he? He's got a little fella at Hulkingston Rovers in Mikey Lewis. He'll be chasing him all the way, but in terms of being an important part, an important cog in your coach's wheel, well, Sneed is absolutely that man. Just having a look. Full concentration and minimal step back. The strike is perfection. He's changed his kicking style, hasn't he, Mark Sneed, down the years? Used to run round angles at 90 degrees, but that one right in front of the ball. Boots it over, 18 points to 6.
You're right, he's changed his kicking style, but he's changed his game, hasn't he? He takes defenders on, he's right into the teeth of the defence to open up the opportunity for Tim Laffey. But he's changed, he's evolved, he's grown. Of course, a younger player has speed and time. Because of that speed, as he's slowed down, his speed has accelerated.
Well, no doubt now Catalan have to score next, surely, to keep that top 6 dream alive. As it stands, Salford are going 4th, would you believe, with 30 points if they win this game, with 2 games remaining. But there's still a lot of blood to be spilled between now and that final match of the season before it's definitive.
When did I say Sam Tompkins were coming on?
Well done, well done, good prediction. But that is a throw of the dice now. Sam Tompkins on the field. His left leg heavily bandaged. What kind of an influence can he have on the rest of the game? There's a chase on here. That's more needed to be brave there, because he knew he was going to be absolutely flattened.
Great kick, great chase, and superb tackle from Nicarima. Playing, of course, against his old side, he was shown the door. It means a lot more when you play against a side that hasn't shown faith in you, and he's playing like it matters to him. Brilliant stuff.
Suspect a bit of personal history there, Barry.
Absolutely.
Leeds against Wigan, first match.
Absolutely.
Here's Da Costa for Catalan. Wallace getting it on its way again. Sims doesn't travel too far before Salford's shoulders hit hard. And Da Costa spins it back. And Rouget kicks it out. And Cross waits and catches. And back he goes into the heart of the battle.
Well, Salford, if they're going to develop into that championship, that champion side they want to be, winning championships, they've got to play like that. They've scored points and then put all their efforts into the little bits, including putting pressure on the kicker on the last tackle.
Well, 30 points. There's another set of 6 here to be had as well, as McDonald spins it in. 30 points. If Salford win today, they get to 30 points. That'll be the highest total they've had in the Super League. Last time they hit 30 points, they went to a grand final. Remember that famous run, what, 5 years ago? Pick up by Mellor. Oh, he was slipping as the...
No, nothing wrong with that. No!
Well, Wallace has just had a go at Ryan Brierley. See what the referee has to say.
Over there, please, over there. Sam, over there, please.
Off the ball. Wallace just seemed to push Ryan Brierley away.
It's Jack. It really runs in and pushes him away. No, it's Jarrett who pushes him to the floor, takes the situation.
Sam Tompkins trying to put his side's point of view, but the referee is not to be swung. He's decided that Wallace has pushed Brierley off.
I thought for a half a second it was for Desiree's contact. There's a little bit of a scuffle, a push and a shove. Jared Wallace and Ryan Briley.
There, boys.
And I don't fancy Ryan Briley's chances in that exchange.
And there's no surprise here that Mark Sneed's elect to kick for goal. Puts this over, it's a 3-score lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll tell me. He'll tell me. Cheers, mate.
That famous kicking tee, decorated by his kids. Little stickers on there that his kids have put on, but it's been well used this season.
Penalty goal scenarios, etc. Yeah, I'll get into it.
Yeah, he'd back him from here, Mark Sneed, wouldn't you? He'll take the 2. 20 points to 6. Just take that sting away. A frustrated reaction from Jared Wallace, who's come in and made a real impact for his new team. A good addition for Steve McNamara.
He's back to round the corner here. Strikes it. The effect is, as you would expect, 4 out of 4 for Mark Sneed today. 20 points to 6, the lead now. Catalan have to score 3 times to rescue this game, and he fancy maybe to rescue their season.
In terms of volume, there hasn't been the volume with Mark Sneed that there has with the Catalan Dragons team. But the quality, either out of hand, when he's kicked out of hand, off the kicking tee, Mark Sneed is the reason Salford are in this game.
Well, Catalan goes short, and a good effort in the first instance from Smith, but the ball spins back, and it means that Salford get the ball back in a much better position than they might have done.
Well, Salford sensibly stand back and let him have a go at that ball. Smith gets to it, he's in the field of play, but it bounces over the sideline.
Let's go then, boys, please.
And you feel certain, don't you? You need to get Sam Tompkins involved in this game. His hands on the ball. It was acrobatic, but to no avail from the Dragons.
There's Hankinson. Longer minutes than he might have expected at the start of the day because of Stone's injury.
I thought he was unlucky not to make the team this, well, the 13. I thought he's one of the best players last week.
He's got that that ability to play in so many positions, hasn't he?
Centre, second row, loose forward at a push, full-back.
Full-back last week,
course.
Yeah. Mellor having a little look around. Collects from the feet. This is Watkins. Callum Watkins shuffling a little further downfield. Mellor picks up again. This is taken on by Wright. Everybody gazes towards Mark Sneed because, as the referee says, 1 play to go. That is where you'd expect the ball to go, and it does, and it's high, and Morg again. Oh, he's taking some battering. The height and the hangs of the kick, meaning that whenever it comes down, he knows there are shoulders coming his way.
Everybody here in the stadium, everybody sat at home watching on TV, knows that Mark Sneed's going to kick it, and there's a drop ball from Tom Davis. Celebrations from Salford. Again, they feed, it energises them whenever they force a mistake. But they can't, Catalan Dragons can't just let Mark Sneed kick the ball wherever he wants. I don't care how good Artia Morg is, he's going to make a mistake. Just as Tom Davis has done there.
Packed, and certainly his teammates and players there, Dudson and Tompkins, a little word with each other.
And an ex-Dragons player as well, Gil Dudson. He's been about a bit.
So Salford, with 24 minutes to go, have a real chance to make this look very comfortable. What a flick pass! What a flicked pass that was! Cross scores, but the ball that got flicked away, I think it was MacDonald who went running over there. Absolutely sensational. Cross finishes, it was Lafay, apologies again. But Dion Cross hugs his centre partner because that's where the try was created, and Dion Cross's score, and Salford now are looking very good.
Love to see scrum plays, love to see the deliberate nature. It's good coaching, good setup, great skill. And what about the offload? Top draw. Tim Lafay catches the ball, drifts on an outline, engages the fullback, and exactly the right split fraction of a second. That left-handed rolling offload. All he has to do is hug his touchline. Dion Cross has complete faith and trust in his centre to find him. Celebrates with the fans behind the sticks. This is a special team, the Salford Red Devils. The minute you start to count them out, they come back and get one of those tries or get one of those victories over the course of 2024. What a team they are.
Well, there's been some ups and downs in recent weeks, but this is very much an up day. And at the moment, they are looking irresistible.
Brilliant centre play, isn't it, Dave? Reminds me of those great centres that we've watched in Super League. The Matt Gidleys of this world.
Well, I remember
Paul Newlove.
Jamie Lyon was probably was one of the first of those flicked offloads, wasn't he? Flicked passes away. Well, Dion Cross, I mean, taking all the celebrations. 11th try of the season, by the way, for him. Reinvented this year, isn't he, as centre up until this year when he's transferred onto the wing.
Yeah.
And here's Mark Sneed again, who's, you could argue, his boot started everything in this second half with that 40-20. Settles himself calmly. Lots of kids here today, you can see in the background. Well done to Salford, who've really pushed the kids getting here today. And Sneed's kick, he can hardly miss wherever he strikes the ball. 26 points to 6. It is an absolute mountain that Catalan are faced with now.
Oh, it's just outstanding, isn't it? Particularly from the centre, Tim Lafay. I could watch this all day. Drifts out. He has no option, does he, Tom Davis? Perfect timing, perfect skill, perfect execution.
Busquets come back on the field, by the way, for the Catalan Dragons, who try to go semi-short, but caught by MacDonald.
I think there's a Callum Watkins shove on Smith, while that high kick, that short kick goes.
Game that's drifting away at the moment. Just over a quarter of the match left to play, but they are so far behind they need to start scoring soon. Salford looking for a bit of honesty in defence here. Tompkins left, Rouget ain't going no further because...
That's good effort in defence. Loads of energy from the Salford Red Devils in defence.
Nenny MacDonald came racing into his space. Da Costa to Busquets. Busquets angling forward again. Couple of plays to go. Catalan need to reverse the trend of not being able to prosper at this end of the field. Can they do it on this last play? Da Costa, Tompkins, looking wide, pushed on and out by Moore. Try to flick it to his winger Davis, but it flies behind its target, and Salford survive the moment.
Tremendous defence from Salford, never rattled, never out of position. Gil Dudson makes a tackle on his former teammate Mike McMeekin. Mark Sneed in or around, but when Dion Cross comes in and tries to shut that play, and Catalan trying to find the winger, they're just not quite up to it. These two teams are even in so many departments, but the biggest difference for me is in the halfbacks. Nick Arima and Mark Sneed have totally dominated and outplayed their opponents.
Here's Mellor.
Jake Shorrocks is on. We talked about Salford losing Sam Stone really early. Well, Paul Rowley's had to keep that ace up his sleeve. He's had to hold back Joe Shorrocks, who's got big minutes on him for the back end of the game.
First one off Salford.
Knock on against Salford here. So again, a little glimmer here for Catalan. They'll consider job not done just yet.
I'm disappointed with the mistake, but Catalan Dragons are going to have to be better in possession. Fage or Rouget or indeed Artia Morg are going to have to try and find something, but we know for certain it's going to be in or around Sam Tompkins.
Sam Tompkins standing midfield from this scrum, just pointing a little direction to the players around him. Moore puts it back, and here comes Laguerre. Laguerre leaping up as quickly as he possibly can to get things moving again. It's Busquets with that honest carry, and then a big hop forward again. Just pushing Salford back a yard or two. Maybe the game ain't done just yet. Rouget's pass to McMeekan. McMeekan hits the line. 3 to go, 20 metres to cover. Where's the trickery? Where's the creativity? Tompkins with a short pass. There it is. That's the moment. Opens the door. And a Sirenen try on the end of that. But it was Tompkins very much who had a big hand in that. And Salford have been breached. And as a silence descends on this ground, maybe there is still hope for the Dragons.
That's the brilliance of Sam Tompkins, isn't it? Those rushing defenders, that pass selection, and the brave line that Bailey Sirenen runs just has a glimmer of hope for Catalan Dragons. They feed off the silence. Some teams feed off the energy and noise of a crowd. Catalan Dragons thrive in silencing everybody. Beautifully delicate pass by Tompkins. And Steve McNamara, well, he brought his ace card on 12 minutes ago, and that's the best involvement he's had so far.
Well, it's gone from being a lost cause to being a misplaced cause at the moment, hasn't it? You'd still fancy Salford to see it home from here. They are still very warm favourites to win this game, but with 19 minutes to go, the task seemingly impossible now downgrades to improbable.
Well, with that try being scored, I'm going to give you another prediction. At some point, Mark Sneed will drop a goal just to nudge the numbers into odd numbers and put that doubt into the mind of the visitors.
This is Remis Smith. Da Costa up there again, and Garcia will carry it with a degree of honesty that he's shown throughout his career. Da Costa again. McMeekan was right, but at left, but Tompkins was right, and that's the selected outcome. There'll be no mercy shown. That hamstring's being targeted.
Oh, it's all right playing touch and passing the ball. You don't want to get tackled at his age.
Yes, Sims. Da Costa. Back it comes to Rouget, who puts it high. Cross covering some ground to get there safely. And that path carries him back 15 away from halfway.
Brilliant play, shows good commitment to catch that ball, good meters, and gets his side on the front foot. They need that back five again, both wingers combining.
Good catch.
Here's the first centre. Tim Lafay's all the way over on the other side.
Watkins.
So the ever-present, the talisman, the captain stands up and he does his job. Tireless worker for his side.
Mellor inside for Partington. Across to Sneed, it's a kick and a chase. I think the intention of that was just to put Catalan on the back foot again, and anything else would have been a bonus.
I'm of the mind that whatever he does, he intends, Dave. So that's what he set out to do. Get it over the sideline, slow the game down, frustrate the opposition, stop the momentum that they had, and he's done exactly that.
Mike McMeekan was hiding in amongst the Salford line. The referee spotted that and said, you were offside, son, so you need to get back behind the line. Trying to conserve a bit of energy, trying to get himself 10 yards further downfield without having to work hard. Tompkins rounded up and pushed back. Now he gets up to play. Davis with the latest carry. How long to go? 16 minutes to go and under. Catalan have to score 3 times. Salford happy and content with where they are, but needing to put in a lot of hard work here to stop this renewed Catalan enthusiasm. Da Costa. McMeekan. Big minutes from McMeekan again. On the halfway line. Rouget puts it high. Dion Cross comes forward. Davis gets there. Maybe forces the mistake. Referee says play on. Tompkins helps it on again. Catalan now, but the ball maybe got a Salford touch. Well, they're claiming a Salford touch.
They're going to go back to the first knock-on, aren't they? For a second, it felt like it was 2 knock-ons and play on. He goes up high to catch that ball, and he has it snatched off him by Tom Davis.
So it is Catalans head and feed. I tell you what, Barry, we could have quite a finish here. The way Catalan are showing spirit now.
It's been that kind of year, hasn't it, Dave?
2 balls on the field. Maybe Catalan could do with 2 balls on the field. It might help them score. With one or the other.
Shot clock off, time back on.
Ball's fed. Catalan 6 plays to go from here. Da Costa picks up, goes wandering. Tompkins comes across, puts it back. Rouget pops it over the top, leap in the air by Fuadiaha. The angle was narrowing towards the corner, so he stays safe and stays in field. Morg. This now is Sims. Just buries himself in amongst those Salford bodies. Da Costa dashing in again. Garcia is the willing recipient this time. Throws it out, Rouget. Hankinson's in and hangs on.
Good defence again.
Da Costa. Tompkins just to his right, and that's the way he's going. Tompkins again with a short pass, looking for that angled run again. Da Costa. Tompkins. Rouget steps away, but he's no outlet there. Stepped away, was desperate to get the ball, keeping moving, but they'd all run past him. And now there's only 1 to go. This is Tompkins again, putting in the kick, ricochets around, drops on, Salford have it back to their big relief.
Well, good defence by Salford, but I'm going to give Mark Sneyd a rap in defence this time. It was his misread that allowed Bailey Sirenen to get that try a couple of minutes ago, but he didn't make the same mistake. He got up quick on Bailey Sirenen, so when Sam Tompkins puts that pass in, the tackle is made. Ethan Ryan stays on the floor. It was a heavy challenge. And the home team, well, they won't be disappointed. They're going to get 30, 40 seconds, maybe a minute of recovery time.
Well, the flame was dwindling, but the fire's roaring again now from the Dragons, isn't it? Have they left it too late? Ethan Ryan doesn't look the healthiest, but I think he's going to be okay. This is the moment.
Well, there's a few players in the vicinity. Da Costa is one of them. For me, I think it's shoulder on shoulder. I think it's shoulder on shoulder. Ends up, it glances the head.
Oh. Here we go. Here we go. Referees having that conversation, that one-sided conversation that we can't hear, of course, with a video referee. He'll be having a look at those replays and deciding whether there's any further action to be taken.
My instinct is it's just a penalty. But under the laws we play now,
yes,
I think...
Well, this has become the game's talking point, hasn't it? You know, that's...
And I'll be honest, I hate it, Dave. I hate it.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I'm sick of watching it.
You can't blame the referees because they are told what they have to do.
No. But the fact that we have to watch it over and over and over again to find contact.
No worries, mate. Captains, please, boys, captains.
Looks like they're going to put this on report. I'd suspect.
I think it's just Da Costa's shoulder on the shoulder of Ethan Ryan. There's a bit of whiplash, that's why the winger stays down.
Let's see it.
And there's not certainty around the point of contact, okay? So we're going to place the incident on report, and it's going to be tackled to with Ethan.
And isn't that a simple solution to all of this? That when you have a player on the floor like that, you put it on report.
Yeah.
If the referee hasn't seen it, you simply put it on report and
deal
you
with it
get
in the
on with
week.
the game. Yes.
Because these kind of moments and incidents are having such a big bearing on the game. And you can hear from the crowd here, everyone gets frustrated because I watched one last week, or they'll say I watched my side get penalised. There's a knock-on.
That's a knock-on. There was a spill from the hands of McDonald. He's claiming there was a Catalan player interfering, but the referee says loose carry.
Well, they're not going away, are they, the Catalan Dragons? They are not going away. They're not out of this.
Still 12 minutes to play.
I think Mike McMeekin has his hands all over that. That's another part of the game that we've not quite got right. Hands on the ball. Tackle technique means you secure ball, and it ends up they're mauling at the ball all the time, defenders. But they're scrapping and fighting their way back in the game, Catalan.
There's Tompkins with a little burst. Takes him out of the next play. But here comes Garcia, coming at pace and on an angle. Held up just short, Da Costa now. Waiting, having a look. McMeekin looked to his left, decided there was no pass on, so he'd have a go himself too. 3 to go, and they're that close. Oh, and then the pass just bounces out of Tariq Sims. It is a knock-on, and Salford should get it back again here.
Celebrations from Jayden Nikarima, who gets up quick off his own goal line. I think he had a big part to play in that mistake too, the former Catalan Dragons player. Number 32, just at the bottom of your screen, he gets up quick. Doesn't allow Tariq Sims to get anywhere near catching that ball. Perfect timing from the small halfback. He's had a good game.
Brad Singleton back on the field. Gil Dudson's gone off. It's the latest interchange for Salford. Looking down there, it looks like Roman Neveret and Jared Wallace are about to retake the field as well for Catalan. Meantime, Salford looking to clear their lines. Here's Ethan Ryan. And they'll be looking at the clock and considering it a friend. Penalty for Salford. Ethan Ryan not happy with Tariq Sims' approach there. The referee neither. So Salford with an easy lift downfield.
It's been, in the main, a disciplined game, hasn't it, from both sides, both with and without the ball, but whenever they've given something like that away, it's cost them.
That's a big kick as well. Takes them up to the halfway line. Salford entrenched and under pressure. Now find themselves a little light relief at the other end of the field. Running the clock down as they do. Sneed, and then it gets away to Lafay from McDonald. And Lafay is handing off everybody if he can.
Still moving.
He's looking for more people to hand off.
Release him down.
It's like a barroom brawl in a western, that, wasn't it?
Play the ball, Tim.
And he was the hero. They all came flying at him. Drop back inside for the recently returned Singleton.
Move, Sam.
Mella moves in. He's going to shuffle forward again. Bounces off Da Costa. Sneaks another yard.
Move. Hit the line, boys. Line will do.
Sneed stands to the left. Back on the inside. McDonald kicks on again. It's being chased after as well. And Davis, in the end, will just put it clear and dead. And Salford have forced that and should get it back again now.
That's top class from Mark Sneed. Literally, you can't stop watching him. Everything is happening around him.
Chris Hankinson's offside within 10. Cheers, Mark.
I think somehow
Hankinson offside. Hankinson offside. That's what the referee's saying. So the yo-yo swings again, up and down. The fortunes of both these sides. Catalan looking as though they were going to be under duress. Now have a chance to get themselves to the other end of the field.
Release, goal one.
I still think we'll get the drop goal. I do.
You'd die for a drop goal.
I am. I am.
I won't be surprised seeing you running out there and putting it over yourself.
Give it Sneed for a drop goal.
Ball now.
Wallace plays. McMeekin, Tompkins delays the pass, shoots through the gap that appeared, but it closes quickly.
Hold.
Garcia. McMeekin. How many times have we said his name today? Tariq Sims keeping a hold of that tight to his chest. Salford score again here. That does up the ante, but there are only 8 minutes to play. Tompkins' little kick through hasn't quite got the measure of that. Makes it a gift for Salford. And lifts the mood for those in red again.
Unfortunately for Catalan Dragons, Bailey Sirenen just was a little too far forward, and then the right edge just weren't quite on the same page as Sam Tompkins. They were too far back.
Well, that's a good carry from Cross. And here's the other winger, Ethan Ryan, bounces in, but he's got the big burly Roman Navarrete in his way. Oh, it looked high. Yeah. Sam Tompkins came flying out, shaking his head, but it looked fairly clearly high. Tim Laffey's having a good grin.
Everybody's enjoying seeing Sam Tompkins back on the field, aren't they?
Boys, please. Let's take him over there.
He was the pantomime villain when he was a player. It is a lunging effort. There's a couple of replays.
Feels like
Was there a bit of drama there for Chris Hankinson?
Yeah.
You're a grown man, it's pathetic, Sam Tompkins says.
He's going to get away with it. He's talked his way out of that as well, hasn't he?
Well, I didn't think the connection was as high as Hankinson.
Oh, come on, Dave. There's a million different reasons you can go off for. Who knows? Haven't they done well with this crowd this afternoon? Just short of 5,000 for Salford. Brilliant. A lot of kids. It's good to see. Well done.
Penalty.
Let's have a look at this.
Not forceful and dangerous, penalty.
Last home game of the season. They'll be hoping there's at least one more in the playoffs, but last in the regular season. High tackle. Penalty suffice. And Sneed finds at the touchline. And Salford now will fancy they are getting very close to finishing this job. There's the tackle. Well, high. Salford, opportunity. Singleton drives it in. Singleton's going to be held up. 5 away. Mellor's there now. Salford fans cheering their side on, trying to lift them in the final 6 minutes and 20 seconds to get this job done. It's back with Shorrocks. Shorrocks comes right. Brierley out to Watkins. Watkins dragged down. Big defensive hearts needed from Catalan, but it's another set of 6. Smith was too slow to get up. Now it's taken on by Nenny MacDonald. Into the line comes Mellor. Into the line of fire. Singleton blasting forward again. Mellor again. Salford fans raising the roof behind the sticks that Salford attack at the moment. Sneed lays it out. Hankinson comes on again. Hankinson 10 away. 3 more tackles for Catalan to try and keep out. 3 more tackles for Salford to make absolutely sure. Sneed with a kick. The ball bounces out. He's claiming he was taken late. The referee is having a look at this.
In my opinion, he stand the ground and he just runs into them. Both players stand the ground, he runs into them. That's my view.
He's not being codded. He's not being codded.
Stand the ground, he runs into him.
Stood his ground, player ran into him. So tap back on the 20. But with 5 minutes left to play, we're nearing a miracle required. The offloads will come thick and fast. Rouget spinning around.
Move! Stand up, boys, stand up. Ball 0.
Just hammered in again.
1. Move, Shane!
They've got
5
value
minutes
for
to
money,
go.
these fans, haven't they? As I say, almost 5,000 have what their side. Resilience in defence in the first 8 minutes, and then from that point on, even though they've been tested, they've shown the quality, and they've showed just exactly what they've got under that bonnet.
Spun back to Tompkins again. Long pass delivered, little bit of room created. It got a Salford touch there, so it will be Catalan who get it back.
Good spot, Dave. Good spot.
Into touch, not scrum, mate. Not scrum, it's into touch, your hand over.
They've immediately picked their place on the field that they want this scrum to take place.
Yeah, they'll get possession here, won't they, Salford? Sorry, should I say Catalan Dragons?
Oh, it's a play the ball, play the ball. Well, they had picked their position. Maybe they thought it was a scrum, and that's where they wanted the scrum. But when they're realising it's a handover because it went out of play, they go back towards the middle. Here's McMeekan. 4 minutes to go. 14 points the difference. Now or never for the Catalan Dragons. Tompkins,
great shot.
and it's looking more like never than now. And a little push off, and Shoras goes running away, and he has support. And Ethan Ryan, with those Salford roars ringing in his ears, scores a try that makes absolutely certain of a huge Salford win. They're leaping up to fourth, but there's still a decision to be made here. We're going to the video referee. And in the meantime, there's a bit of jousting going on in back play as well.
It's brilliant work from Jaden Nikarima. Whether that ball comes out cleanly or not, there's a couple of old stags just exchanging words in the background. Jared Wallace and Brad Singleton. But fantastic work from Jaden Nikarima. Will he get his side the ultimately reward of a try?
Well, having calmed down the drama, we now go into checking the try. Oh, he says no try on the field.
There's a second knock-on off Salford, please.
Here's James Vella.
It's tackle 0, live decision of no try. We're checking the lead up. Tackle 0, live decision, no try. We're checking the lead up here. So Tompkins takes possession. We have a knock-on by Tompkins. Now we need to determine whether there is a knock-on by Salford. So playing on at this point. So does Mellor touch the ball with his hand or arms on the ground? So we're going to view all available angles. So we're back to 0. So it doesn't appear to be any touch there. We'll view all available angles to determine whether the arm touches the ball on the ground. This ball appears to touch the body. So is there a touch of the arm to the ball by Mellor? So viewing all available angles. We lose sight of the arm from that angle. We don't have vision of the arm from that angle either. This appears to be our best angle. Camera 9 appears to be our best angle. So rolling it through, we've established a knock-on by Tompkins. Keep rolling through, and frame by frame, yep, at this stage, just moving it forward nice and slow. So is there a touch by Mellor's arm? Frame by frame, keep rolling it through. There's no clear change in shape and rotation of the ball there. If we can just look again from camera 5, please, just to confirm that there's no touch by Mellor. So I need sufficient evidence to overturn the live decision. So camera 5 when the ball's on the ground, please. If we can view camera 5. Okay, yep, nice and slow. If we can just have that one again, please, nice and slow. So I need sufficient evidence to overturn the live call. So frame by frame. Yep, nice and slow, match director. Yep, keep rolling it through. Comes off the body at this stage. Still off the body. Keep rolling through. there's no clear separation between the ball and the arm. Just now roll it through to the grounding, please. So there's insufficient evidence at this point to suggest that the ball has not been knocked on. So now through to the grounding. So we've established there's a double knock-on in the lead-up. I've made my decision.
What?
Well, when everybody saw Ethan Ryan running down, and
Well, I don't get that.
there's no try. Well,
First knock on, Sam.
everything seemed to point that there was only one knock-on there.
I'm mystified.
But then at the very last second, it was grilled as a double knock-on.
Ethan Ryan
First one, Sam.
is laughing his socks off.
Right here, right there.
Well, Joe Mellor is not even looking at the ball. It never touches his arm or hand. It hits his midriff. Look at his eyes. He's not even looking. He doesn't even know where the ball is.
Here we go, boys.
Joe Shorrocks plays on,
Come down, mate.
finds a pass.
Okay then, boys, let's go here then, please.
Let's have a look at the grounding. The grounding's fine. That's a try.
Well, you
50
cannot
boys, come on.
you cannot say it hasn't been
50.
forensically
Shot clock's on.
studied and investigated.
My word, it was. To try and find what wasn't there.
Let's get in.
I mean, the
It's in, boys,
feeling
please.
you got listening to that
Okay,
was
now
that it
shot
had been
clock on.
cleared as not being a knock-on.
Well, it's that nasty debate we have when it goes up as one thing to try and find evidence, to find agreement with the referee. Anyway, we move on. We move on.
Salford.
The good thing is it won't alter the result, will
No,
it?
no. 2 minutes to go. Salford denied that celebration of that try for Ethan Ryan, but it only surely suspends the bigger celebration of a victory here today. Singleton crashing it forward. There's Mellor waiting at dummy half. Maybe Salford fans are going to be given reason to cheer again before the hooter sounds, if Salford can unpick this Catalan defence. Lafay, three grabbing a hold. Mellor spins it back, and it's going to be a drop goal attempt from Mark Sneed, and the referee confirms that as a big one-pointer. Mark Sneed gets the last word on a game that he has been the player of the match, and Barry McDermott dances a jig
Yes!
on the gantry.
Yes!
He's been predicting that since the very first minute.
I've been subliminally telling a message to Mark Sneed. Drop the goal. Player of the match, absolutely nailed on. He's controlled this game. Jayden Nikorima has had a fantastic match, as has Tim Lafay with those two tries, but that man has been all over the pitch again.
Well, he might have a chance for another kick here because they got a penalty, that short kick going out of play on the full, so Salford with a penalty back on halfway.
I've lost count of the amount of times I've come to Salford and he's got the Betfred player of the match, but his influence has just been enormous over 24, and without him in this game, Salford's momentum would have resulted in points.
They are kicking for goal. So Mark Sneed with a chance to add another two.
From halfway, would you back him?
Well, it's Mark Sneed, so you'd have to say yes, wouldn't you?
Yes, I'd back him.
But the thing about this now is he takes any jeopardy out of the game in terms of last moment injuries, doesn't he? Because the clock's going to tick right down. Why put bodies on the line for the rest of the seconds that remain? Just let that clock run down.
Wise old owl, isn't he? Great players know how to just shave a little bit of advantage and gain a little bit of advantage with taking easy options, and this is the easy option.
The only thing it does do, it's a difficult kick because of the distance. Just damages his kick percentage potentially if he doesn't put it over.
I'm
Hooter
saying
will
he gets
sound.
it. I'm saying he gets it.
Hooter will sound.
Thank you, Tony. Don't stay on side though, boys.
So this will be
No, not from here.
the last
Make
kick
sure
of the
he doesn't
game.
go for the goal, well. We've had that one before already.
Yes, of course, he hits the post
sure
and
you go
somebody
for the goal,
follows it
Mark.
up and scores a try, or
Get down.
Catalan catch it. So there is various outcomes, but the favourite is for Sneed to kick it. He's got the length, but I think it's just wide. It is just wide. It matters not in the grand scale of the Super League season. Salford, worthy winners in a match they probably had to win. And it's a victory that takes them up to 4th place in the Super League table, and at the moment puts them in prime position for a home playoff in the first weekend of those playoffs. Salford needed to do a job today, and they have done a job today.
And at this stage of the season, yes, it's about picking wins up, but it's the manner, gaining momentum. They will reference those 7 minutes, 8 minutes where they were under pressure and had to defend for their lives within this game.
Well, there's kids coming onto the field. It's all good-natured. I think the club have allowed youngsters to come on here.
It's a long time since I've seen kids on the field.
Yeah.